This is Tsar Nicholas, the last king of Russia. And this is Enver Pasha, the former Prime Minister of War of the Ottoman Empire. They fought against each other in World War I in the Caucasus front. But you might know them as the 5.5 man or the 9.2 man. They have been used for AI trend on TikTok pointing fun at one another. But the real question is, what are these numbers and what do they mean? And why can no one agree on them? Let's start with minus 9.2 million, because it's easier to explain out of the two. So before we begin, let me clarify something. When I say casualties, I mean dead, wounded, missing, and even captured. It's not just all death. Where the number 9.2 really comes from is the total Russian casualties of the Eastern Front of World War I. Now keep in mind, Eastern Front includes Russia, Germany, Austria, Hungary, Romania, Bulgaria, and the Ottoman Empire. So when people see this, they just assume it's 9.2 million dead Russians. And since Enver Pasha is part of it, he gets most of the credit. But if you look at the Russian-Ottoman front, you can see it's nowhere close. So to conclude the 9.2 part, no 9.2 million Russians did not die due to Enver Pasha. In fact, only around 2 million Russian soldiers died in total during World War I, and the rest of the casualties came mostly from Germany-captured soldiers, which most of them were released. Now time for 5.5. This one is complicated, so just try your best to keep up. If you were paying attention earlier, you may have saw that in the Caucasus front, the Ottoman casualties for the Ottomans was only around 300k. So where does this number come from? Some people think it's the total combined number of the Russo-Turkish wars in history, and since Nicholas is the last one, he tops of the final number. But this is not the case. Others think it was this period in time. It has the 5.5 number. Russia was heavily involved, and it was during the time of Nicholas. But if you take a closer look, you can see this is not the case. This was a time of persecution of all Muslims in the region. This did involve Turks, but also Muslims, Greeks, and Kurds, Albanians, and more. And according to historian Justin McCarthy, 5 million of those Muslims were just moved out of their homes, with the other 0.5 being deaths. Remember, total casualties does not equal deaths. So where does 5.5 million Turks come from? Is it a fake number? Well, not exactly. It's just a little more complicated. It comes from total Turkish casualties during World War I. This includes all fronts they were involved. You can see on screen. And here is the total casualties for each front. And all of these numbers add up to 1.2 million Turks. So where is the other 4.3 million coming from? Well, the number comes from casualties within the Ottoman Empire. It's not just the Turks. It includes the Armenian, Greek, Assyrians, Lebanese genocides that happened within the Ottoman territories. But whether you recognize these genocides is a different story. Here are the number of each genocide. And if you add it up with the previous number from earlier, you get 4.1 million. But there was also 700,000 Kurdish people that was forced westward from their homes. But there was also 350k Kurds that did die due to hunger or disease. And according to Turkish historian Dr. Kamer Kasim, there was an additional 399k Turks that are not reported by Western sources. And if you add all of these up, you get the 5.5 million number. So what did we learn? Well, for starters, no, Tsar Nicholas did not march down 9.2 million Russian soldiers down the Caucasus mountain into Ottoman territory, and no, Enver Pasha did not kill them all. That's just silly. But rather, it came from the total casualties list of Russia during the First World War, with only about 2 to 3 million Russian deaths. And no, Enver Pasha did not freeze 5.5 million soldiers in the mountains. But rather it comes for the combined number of casualties from all Ottoman fronts and internal affairs that happened within. But at the end of the day, both numbers are technically true and are just being used for silly little dances. So just have fun with it and stay respectful.